Alright guys, we're back. Time for Game 2. Noble Esports took Game 1. They'll be facing hi-5 for the second time today. Picks and bans are underway, and apparently can't see the bans, so if they ever pop up, we'll get those up on screen for you guys. Otherwise, going forward, it's going to be Geb picked up first pick inside of hi-5. No more Bacchus for Junipero, apparently. I'm kind of sad about that, because it was always just like crazy aggressive frontline Bacchus play from the onset of the matches.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love to see Junipero going ham? Who doesn't love to see any American team going ham? That's why the American scene is so exciting to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thrill of it all, and I get to go absolutely nuts with my casting. You get to go absolutely nuts with your casting. That's what we want to see. Fortunately, it's not going to be the Bacchus, it's going to be the Geb, but hey, what some nice Geb play from that last game.
Yeah, it definitely was. I love the use of the rollout early on, just to punt people around. You really don't see the punt used too much, and I think today from Junipero we've seen it used more than probably the remainder of the Challenger Cup in its entirety. So, I mean, that says how underused that punt can potentially be. That said, it was Athena, Xbalanque locked in, Ullr, Isis as well. Thor hovered and locked in for the final pick before counter bans by hi-5. Yay, all the bans just appeared for me. I can now go back and lock those all in. It was a Cabrak and Neath ban on the side of Noble. Team names are client stuff. I'm correct for the time being, so I'm not going to push my luck and complain about it.
Yeah, I think Noble are actually sitting on our red side. They're going to be blue side in game,
They red
which
side
is
the clients,
fantastic.
which usually screws me
But
up,
they're
but I'm actually on point at this point, I think. I'm not sure who the first ban was and who the third ban was, but I'm guessing here it's Cat, maybe a Bellona. There's a Bellona
The
ban
Cat
as
was
well.
the third ban. I'm pretty sure the Bastet was in the first two, and then
They
Agni
switch.
was the third ban from
Yeah. Nevertheless,
Noble.
there's the picks and bans as they stand currently. Agni banned out. Why not lock on in Poseidon? Because why not? Strong burst damage. Good setup. Cripple coming out from the Whirlpool as well is quite nice. Batz locked in second to last pick on the side of Noble Esports, as well as Loki coming on out. We've seen a little bit of Loki picked up, but I was really surprised for the longest time we weren't seeing a whole lot of Loki play on the back of the L. We're just going to run double assassins, who now need beads and ages to avoid the Loki assassinate combo. And let's face it, no hunter is going to pick up both of those because sprint is just so darn good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do run. Xbalanque can probably get away with it for the darkest of nights, but it needs to be used at the right time, right? Like, he's one of the few hunters that can actually do it. So he is the right pick into Loki, but Saipa, this is a Saipa special, this Loki pick. He plays this exceptionally well. We saw him split push his team to victory earlier in the day, and we've seen it in previous Challenger Cups as well.
Oh, that's the final pick getting locked in. It's going to be Hercules for El Chapu. Haven't seen too much Hercules play out of him. He definitely likes these tanky gods in the soul lane who have these displacement options. The Sobex, the Tears, and that's about all we've seen from him in the past, 2 weeks or so. But Hercules, same sort of thing. Driving Strikes, Earthbreakers. Giant Boulder that kind of has a slide, like multiple signs attached to the side that says, move out of the way. You don't want to be run over by this giant rock that's going to hurt you and possibly kill you. So, hi-5 rounding out the team comp with that one. The Athena, Poseidon, Xbalanque, Thor, Hercules. Very strong team fight setup for those guys. Loki, not really going to have too many targets. Vulture Code, you have the option, pick up a, Golden Sash type item, the Warlock Sash. You have Isolation spots put as well. Build a bit of a health pool so Loki can't just kind of pop in, say hello, and kill you instantly. So Xbalanque is really going to be the only target on the side of hi-5 for Loki to really look to focus down.
Yeah, and that's a rough lane for him as well, coming through from El Chapu's Hercules. Doesn't really lane all that well at all into a Hercules. Yeah, he's going to drop the decoy down and he's going to look to clear out the wave with that, but Hercules just clears the wave so quickly in that early stage, right? And then there's no way for him to come forward and safely auto the minions to make sure that he's getting gold. So early on, it's such a risky pick. He's going to be playing so passively, but Saipa, this is not an uncommon pick for him. He knows how to play this matchup.
Yep, so we'll see exactly how these guys face off against each other. Loki might have a bit of a rough time early on, but if you can avoid the Earthbreakers and such from Hercules, should work out fairly well. We're going to get into a quick little break while the anti-ghost timer ticks on down. We're back here as soon as the game's available for you guys. Stick around, it's Game 2 of the finals for North American Challenger Cup, week number 5. It's an exhibition one, but nevertheless, should be a good one. Noble looking to close this game out in a 2-0 sweep. We'll see if they can do it in just a few. Alright guys, so welcome back. Time for game number 2. Noble Esports took the first one in this best of 3 series against hi-5. We'll see if they can take number 2 as well and close this out in a 2-0 sweep. Or if hi-5 can bring us all the way back around, look for first place finish to week 5 of the North American Challenger Cup for themselves. I'm Poseidon, here with the one, the only, Ranconius. Tell us about the Noble Esports lineup.
Well, it's going to include a Cyper on the Cyper special. It's Loki in the solo lane. Just is going to be on your Batz, monkeying around in the jungle. Mid lane, BK Haste is on that Isis. Junipera is going to be your friendly female support on the Gab. And Lou is coming in with another Ullr coming through.
Inside of hi-5. It will be Elchapoo in the solo lane. It's Hercules this time. Grishank in the jungle as Thor. Vulture in the mid lane as Poseidon, Elbra Chacho as Athena as support, and finally Recon as the Hunter Xbalanque. Invade coming out right side. hi-5 looking to take that mana buff away from Cyper. No surprise there. Look without a mana buff. Gonna struggle quite a bit early on. No Bluestone Pennant stars out of him. You just never see it. That's the reality of the situation.
Well, Bait's actually coming through on the right-hand side, but BK Haste is actually over here, so this is a 3-on-2. This is a very risky setup. I mean, Adjuster's going to secure that buff as well. Grishank and Elchapoo have got no experience off the back of this one, and no buffs to... Actually, Elchapoo does have a mana buff, so that was a mana buff steal, and then a late invade looking for that speed buff as well. So Cyper's going to be without a mana buff. Hi-5. Early pressure.
Yeah, it will pay off. Loki, without that mana buff, going to have a real rough time in lane. Mid lane as well. Missed a couple of minions as BK Haste was busy, as well as Just busy over on the right side of the jungle, so Vulture going to have a small advantage going forward. They're trying to lay down some pressure and pain, but the Whirlpool from Vulture will kind of stop Just from actually applying that overhand smash. He's kind of forced to back off. Left side, Junipera still up those rollout shenanigans. Wasn't quite able to find anything that time around.
Yeah, but look at the poison dart damage that's been applied down on towards Lou at this early stage of the game. They didn't get that bonus XP coming through from the damage buff because BK Haste was on the right-hand side. They knew they were the weakest start, so they did start those back camps before going into their own attack speed buff. Gonna enter lane at a very similar time period, so everything is pretty standard at this stage, even though we've had a little bit of a funky start.
They're actually even on experience over on that left lane. Just the way the splits end up working out. They got the back harpy to kind of make up for it. So it's pretty much dead even over there. It just comes down to who ends up playing the lane better. Like you touched on, the poison dart damage, good poke, good harass. Early back, though, coming out from Lou. Not necessarily an inopportune time. Was this a disconnect? Not entirely sure. It might have been an unfortunate disconnect coming out for those guys. But nevertheless, head back to base. That could be a Morningstar of speed. Maybe pick up another potion or so when he's back there. Just, you know, a little bit of extra something while he's in lane to kind of deal with that poke coming back out at him.
Well, facing Junipera, though, pretty risky, is actually in here in the 1v2 scenario at the moment, and he's taking a fair chunk of his health bar or his aggression. Recon is still landing those in-hands. He's taking the minion poke. This could be first blood if they find another taunt from the side of Elbra Chacho, but Junipera's got a little bit of space. 1-2 more in-hands would have killed her off, and she will live through that one. And she's going to survive and start sustaining up.
Just those little tiny jukes to the right as she was retreating back to the tower was all it took for those in-hands from Recon to end up missing repeatedly. And get Junie out of there safely. Taking a peek over at the right lane. It's actually Elchapoo on the downside, health bar-wise at least. He has that mana buff taken away. He has the mitigate wounds to kind of keep himself healthy. Driving strike onto the wall. Cyber takes a little bit of damage, but going to make use of that decoy to get a little bit of extra poke onto Elchapoo with the aim strike. So he's playing this lane very, very well.
Mid lane, though, Adjust and Grishank are both going to be sitting around here. Grishank's played the Thor 2 games in a row so far from the side of hi-5, so 100% pick rate from him. When he's left open, Grishank seems to like to favor that. We'll have to keep a watch for that over the next sort of couple of weeks. But that bodes well for them from the side of hi-5. They're able to make this Thor pick work so far.
Yep, for sure. Harpies are about to spawn right now. Gripping coming out hi-5. 3-man rotation to left side. Solo rotation from Elchapoo to secure the right side camps. And Noble Esports might be looking to rotate. We'll get the right side. Quacken comes on out. BK is very, very low. Stone Shield will keep him alive. First blood ends up going to hi-5. Nevertheless, as the boulder from Hercules rolled on through. Junie still up barely. Trying to teleport and secure this one in. Stone Shield still cooldown. Not able to keep himself up.
But Cypher's going to come in and he's going to get the assassinate off on towards Grishank. El Chapu is now here trying to beat around. They've got Elbow Chacho to a very low level. The driving strike didn't connect on towards Adjust, and look at that crit that comes through from Cypher. He did a lot of damage on towards Elbow Chacho, and now the damage on towards both. El Chapu is just as good, and Cypher is going to get huge in this early portion of the game. Denied a mana buff, but he's picked up 2 kills for it.
Yeah, but pick up the right side Harpy cans, kind of the consolation prize on that one. Who actually ended up getting the first blood? Taking a quick cheat look at the timeline. That's actually split team for team. That's not the correct order. That did not tell me anything. The graph, please. First blood ended up going a high 5, so in the end, gold and experience sitting pretty much even. Just from a little bit of an extra first blood bonus. So, Noble Esports, they got the extra kill. Kept things even across the board, so it worked out well for them in the long run. Mid lane, Grishank, kind of waiting, but this is Junipero. But for now, nothing really to fight over here. No, it's back to just farm up for a couple minutes. Wait for the mid harpies to come up. And unless you catch somebody out of position in the jungle and get a nice little pick, the Gold Fury, probably not really going to be a call for the next few minutes.
Well, regardless, Cypher's got that second mana buff spawn. He's going to drop down the decoy, but he knows that Grishank is here. This is a 2-0 Cypher, so Grishank is putting a lot on towards this one. The Defender of Olympus is going to come across looking to get El Brochacho in on this one as well, but Adjust and BK Haste are here. Down comes that circle of protections from BK Haste, trying to keep himself alive. Kraken's going to do a lot of work.
Yep, finds that kill. Cataclysm comes out, does find 2 members, and nobody's there damage-wise to follow up on it. Junipero getting locked down by that Tectonic Drift coming out from Thor, trying to run away. Fear No Evil comes out to save Junie's life. Cypher gets a kill. Now it's down to Elber Chacho. Can they lock this kill down? Junie trying to run for his life. The taunt in 2, 1. Is there the mana pool? No, yes. Well, there is, but not going to be needed. Elber Chacho cleans it up with an in-hand. Recon finds a 1v1 kill. 1v1, what am I talking about?
Yeah,
where was Recon?
Adjust is still being alive over here on the right-hand side. Recon actually come over to help out with these fights. El Chapu is going to handle himself and Adjust, and they're going to get a second mana buff steal away. Man, this aggression this game, it's deep into the opposition jungle. On high 5, they don't want that Cypher getting any buffs.
Yeah, well struck a Recon in the middle. I actually thought that was a 1-for-1 trade over in that left-hand lane. He's going to give a little bit of time for Lou. He's farming up for the time being, getting some damage in the tower. Going to deny over a wave of experience and gold directly to the tower. Grishank is nearby, but pick up for the most part this next wave. Maybe these pseudo disconnect mind games from Grishank. I'm still not entirely sure if that last game that was a disconnect or not, or just him, cheeky play to get himself out. Like, exploit the goodwill of your enemy team by faking a disconnect by running into the wall. Not sure what that was. I think you might have been doing that again there. But I could be saying a little bit of bait, perhaps. But
could have just been a small amount of packet loss as well coming through. I can sometimes do something like that. So
right-hand side, L2 taking a bit of damage, gonna throw that boulder just in time. But Cypher uses the entire. Excuse me. Yeah, Cypher gets it with the bleed. Adjusted to use the teleport in. Not quite needed. Even these names backwards. There was a Recon in the middle of a fight. I lost track of him and thought he was in this duo lane, solo lane, whatever the heck the left lane is called these days. The lane near the thing we call the Fire Giant that isn't actually the Fire Giant.
You mean on the left-hand side of the map. Anyway, Grishank and El Brochacho looking for some pressure on towards BK Haste in the mid lane. Team's still continuing to look to go toe-to-toe. Noble Esports still managing to keep up with high 5 at this point in time, though. 6-6 in the kill column. But check it out. This is 4 kills on Cypher. He is huge at this point in the game.
Yeah, that is for certain. 4-1-0 on Loki. Not going to see. He did just fall a little while ago, so the Heart Super stack's not built back up to full yet. Chacho took a huge chunk of damage trying to get those left side Harpy camps, was not able to. High 5 will secure the right side camps, but it's a gold for your call as they know the rest of the team's out of position right now. And as quick as it's dropping, nobody's going to get here in time. They have Cypher nearby, just got to keep tabs on exactly where people are. He may get locked down here in a second. But he's
just going to use the assassinate just to totally get out of there. That was a good call as soon as that Kraken was dropped down. Very good play. Grishank was looking for an engage with the ultimate coming through from him, so no more taking to the skies from our Thor, and a gold fury for Noble Esports to send them into the lead in this early portion of the game.
Elchapu so badly wants to push this mini wave all the way forward to the tower and actually deny some golden experience, but the decoys from Cypher just say no, that's not going to happen. A bit of damage from Poe coming back as well, trying to find the kill. If he can get a little bit more in the bleed, cooldown's about to come back up. Cypher could potentially look for a dive, but he does not have his ultimate up and available. Adjust, on the other hand, Fear No Evil is available. This is going to signify that dive as Defender Olympus is forced out. Can they keep these guys alive? No! At least in case of Elchapu, they cannot.
Well, Josh to find that kill on the right-hand side, but now look at what they're trying to do. Adjust is going to go down, but Grishank is incredibly low, so it's a 2-for-1 so far from Noble. And Elbow Chacho's got no way of fighting out Cyber, but now the rotation from the mid lane. Oh, VK Haste has made his way over here as well. They're going to pick up Elbow Chacho, and now the focus back on towards Vulture. I'm not sure they can clean this up into the tower.
Yep. Oh, Judy. Okay, maybe not.
Judy.
They may give the chase nevertheless. Juniper realizing, nobody else was quite nearby. That Rollock gave me some extra movement speed. I can't really chase this on my own. I could, but it probably wouldn't end well. I guess I'll go ahead and not dive behind the tier 1 tower. Elchapu picking up that tier 3 teleport from nothing. Gonna teleport back to lane, make sure they can't take that tier 1 tower. So a bit of a lull again. Noble Esports find themselves with an early game lead for the time being on the back of that gold fury and a kill or two on the tail end of it. But, you know, it's only 9 minutes in. Last game, we saw that first lead coming off a high five, and in the end, Noble able to turn around. So high five, at least in theory on paper, should not be out of this one quite yet, because it's early and that lead really doesn't amount to much of anything.
Yeah, and when you look around the map as well, High Five, they've actually got a really, really decent group up fight, wombo combo. Elbochacha getting a nice taunt in, that sets up for Grishank's ultimate. Recon's got the Darkest of Nights to set up for that sort of stuff as well. And El Chapu, with the Boulder Kraken combo, that's so much damage. You can 100-0 multiple targets, because it's just that slight amount of AoE, it's no single target. Cypher, on the other hand, incredibly single target focus. BK Haste is the AoE damage for his team.
He is indeed. So we see some Cam's getting picked up the backside of the map, but you said the AoE damage coming out as well. They are lacking a fair bit inside of Noble Esports, but looking at that team composition, Recon is the large portion of the damage. Hercules is Hercules, yeah, Thor is Thor, but it really comes down to Recon late games, that hyper carry of hyper carries, Xbalanque. If they're able to burst him down, it's not necessarily the team fight in the bag, but that is like the core central of the high five team fight. If Recon's dead, that's like the majority of the damage just gone completely. Viper sneaks in a kill right side.
Oh man. He's able to just burst out, but then there's a Kraken Whirlpool combo coming down. Junipero trying to go for the Cataclysm to lock somebody up, but he hasn't got the health bar to continue fighting this one. Adjust is here on the backside as well, but Thor's taken to the sky. Adjust might be in a world of trouble.
He's in a 1v4 coming into this one. He will fall in the middle of that Whirlpool. Elbochacha on the backside of this fight, very, very low. Cypher's here, stealthed up. They don't know where he is. Grishank was trying to stop it, but not able to find it. Now looking for the second one. Grishank will fall. That's the double kill coming out for him. As they look for some more Recon and Bulge in a bit of a bad spot, but the enhance from Poseidon able to secure the kill, and Cypher won't live. But Lou was able to clean up, but Elbochacha teleporting in to join this fight. A little late to the party. Beads the tail end able to avoid the Earthbreaker for Lou.
Lou joined that one just a little bit later, but the poison darts on towards Cypher were able to shut him down finally. Look at his score on the board, though. This is a big, big Loki. 9-2-3. Already into the mace. He's got his warrior tubby finished up as well. His in-hands are just going to hurt.
You were talking about that single target damage earlier. Yeah, no cheating on the damage, sure, with like hitting 5 people with a Kraken or a Whirlpool or Tidal Surge and stuff like that. Cypher's top of the damage chart by a little bit of a decent 6,000 to 5,000, or 6,000 numbers, whatever. A decent little lead, considering that's pretty much entirely single target damage. This also isn't the case of, he's fighting Hercules in the lane. It's an incidental damage that Hercules just healed back up. He's finding kills on Hercules. The god who generally we consider, solo lane, slap fights, never going to die in lane. Cypher has been finding 1-for-1 kills repeatedly throughout this game.
And this is no Hercules coming through from El Chapu. He plays a very, very strong Hercules. That's something to keep in mind as well. You expect El Chapu to be of that sort of standard of play. He's going to get the driving straight. That's a lot of damage on towards Cypher, but he's going to go back in for it. He can in-hand fight this. He's got no lifesteal, but he's got potions. That's all he needs.
Cypher's playing in the lane, bait out the abilities. Earthbreaker's down, Driving Strike is down. What are you going to do? Throw a boulder at me. The boulder's not going to hit me for 3/4 of my health. I have burst damage. I have the stun. I have the bleeds. You're going to die
down on the left-hand side, though. They're looking to fight. Noble are in a little bit of a nice health advantage at the moment. BK Hayes picks up one. Bolcher's gone from this fight. Now the focus on towards Grishank. He's incredibly low. The focus now back towards Elbow Chacho. Can they find him? On the side of Noble, yeah, he's just about confirmed. Preemptive strike, though, gets some nice distance. They might not find him. Overhand smash to secure that. Noble's going to grab the second gold through the game as well.
Recon and El Chapu waiting nearby. They could potentially look to steal this one away, or at least stop it from happening. I don't know if the steal's possible. Boulder rolls on in. Not going to catch Adjust, who was very low in health. In the backside of this fight, Recon very low, will fall. Adjust, Noble would secure the fight. Now it's all down to finding the kill to El Chapu, which they will do so as well. 5-man grouping from Noble Esports Tier 1 mid. They could go for the big play of that Tier 1 tower mid lane. and yeah, hopefully.
That's not just a big play. That's a 5-man. Hey, we've got more numbers. We've got a Loki. Uh-oh, Junipero wants Grishank as well. But then they've also... Look at that. They've got Cypher, they've got Adjust, they've got Lu. These three are all physical damage gods that take towers extremely quickly. Cypher hasn't been split pushing. Wait until he starts.
To be honest, he may not need to. He's 9-2-6. This isn't getting he's farm, he's not online. He's the highest level in the game. He has the most gold in the game. Just finish up his Jotun's Wrath, that cooldown reduction. And the penetration. And the extra physical power. And all the other fun stuff. I think it's mana, to whatever I think the third stat on is mana. Who doesn't love more mana? Mana's great. But he's doing damage. He just goes, oh, you know, I'm gonna be a pain, stick in the soul lane, push the lane, push the lane, push the lane. Anyone shows up, I'll just vanish, walk away for 2 seconds, and then they go, you wanna leave? Well, guess what? I'm pushing your lane again. He's rotating. He has that teleport. He's joining these fights. When he joins the fights, he's coming in and just exploding somebody. There's really not much in the way of protections right now. There's not really much health scaling and protection scaling online quite yet. Recon is not the only person he can look to burst down. He may not find a kill onto Upper Charge because he has sovereignty. Hercules may not find that kill in one combo, but their health bars are going to just be chunked, and the rest of his team is going to be able to follow up and close in for the kill. Right? Again, boxing back El Chapu, reinforcing nearby, but they're going to force Defender of Olympus on this one.
Yeah, El Chapu is still dropping. He will at least get the healing to start coming in, but the enhance from Cypher are going to do too much. They didn't even have to burn the Assassinate. Look at the Cataclysm. It's in the middle of everyone, but now Junipero is in trouble because of that Kraken.
Yep, there's a second kill coming out for Cypher. Looking to chase down a kill here if he can find one. Vulture and Albatross go in different directions. They're not going to find any more follow-up kills. BKs will just stroll straight on through that Whirlpool. Spirit Ball not going to find Brochacho. Should be getting these guys out free and clear. There's no tier 1 tower in mid lane to fall back to anymore, but nevertheless, mid Harpies are up. Some other stuff to take on the map. No reason to chase right now. They go on the team fight.
Damage spike from Cypher. Go to the player damage and look at Cypher once again. You were talking about how he's single target ahead. Now he's just massively ahead. This is Cypher just going ahead. I said this was a Cypher special, and I meant it. This is one of Cypher's best gods.
That was another 5,000 damage from when we looked at it about a minute ago. On the Adjust shot up a bit in that chart as well. He was sitting further on down. Another 3,000-4,000 for him, but comparing it over to Vulture, he was sitting at about 5.3k damage. He got about 2,000 extra damage in the course of that fight. Loki, Cypher, 5,000. And again, that's single target damage.
And he's not quite done yet. He's looking for El Chapu as well on the right-hand side of things. And Junipero's rotating around here. He might be able to punt him in a right direction. Cypher, though, is going to get driving striked up by El Chapu. Down goes the decoy. The blink in from Junipero. Can they find El Chapu? They're certainly trying. Not quite able to clean him up just yet.
Roshank's up in the air. They could look to counter engage this one. They will find Cypher. That's the one they need to shut down. That will be a big 750 gold shutdown bonus if they find that kill whenever they do, if they do. The rest of the fight locking down. Cypher going to sidestab that baseball as the fight continues. Darks of Nights from across the map.
Yeah, and they're still going to continue fighting this one. There's also the box out from Lu on towards Recon. Lu found him out. They were looking right-hand side to try and see what they could find, but he's going to get the box out in favor of Noble Esports. The base from the Loki. He comes back in at full health now. Where's Cypher going to go for an assassinate?
He has the option, teleported back, or went back to base, teleported in to rejoin this fight. Tier 1 tower right lane, all someone has to do is go look at it funny, and it will fall on over. They're looking for kills, taking this up, trying to find and lock down El Chacho. There's the tower finally falling. A lot of ultimates still up and available. At the same time, a lot are down, and it's going to be kind of disengaged for both teams. Yeah.
Just look at what Lu's doing on this left-hand side of the map. The focus was towards the right side, so he outboxed Recon. He got the kill. He got one tower. Recon's still not up for another 5 seconds. I'd like to see Lu go a bit further. I really would have liked to see him taking that left-hand tier 2.
Yeah, as far as the hunters go, Recon with that Xbalanque, I'd say late game as the game. Not quite yet. He has 2 stacks on his passive. Still, he's a little behind level-wise as well. 1v1 situation, Ullr definitely wins the boxing matches. There's really not much of a question about that. Late game, once team fights get in the way, if Recon can stay alive, yeah, Ullr can drop some hail of arrows and piercing arrows and all that fun stuff ability-wise through the fight. Yeah, he still has a stun to contribute CC. As far as CC is concerned, I'll tell you a lot of C's in that sentence, but nevertheless, the boxing definitely favors Lu with that level advantage even more so. If High Five can hold on and keep things going, probably for another 10 minutes or so Recon can kind of play catch up and actually get to the point where he's able to join fights and be a menace in that regard, High Five could definitely still turn this one back around, but it's going to be a little bit of a rough road to get there. The way, they need to stop Cypher, and at least for the time being, they just haven't found an answer to him.
They need Aegis. Where can they get Aegis?
Nowhere.
That's the problem. They need Beads and Aegis. Recon, Xbalanque we mentioned. with the Darkest of Nights, he is potentially one of only, what, 2 hunters? Medusa's the other one that can grab both the beads and Aegis to deal with a Loki. But the fight's going to come down.
Got Blue able to go around out just in the nick of time. The fight is on. Now, Cataclysm finds 3 members of High-5. Recon using that Rising Jaguar back out and way to safety. Cypher, though, just explodes Vulture as the fight continues.
Well, he's almost finally picked him up. Cypher almost paid with his life, but he will confirm it. Grishank is just going to get burst through as well. Won't find the double tap from him. So many kills being picked up by Noble Esports at this point in time. They got the 3. They're still looking for the 4th. Oldbro Chacho is going to try and base, but he's not going to get out of here.
There's the Earthbreaker pulling Juniper back in. Shockwave connects. Spirit Ball just barely misses El Chapu. Cypher was...
Oh, Junipera!
Cypher was at about 20 health in that fight.
Just bases and teleports right lane.
Yeah, a single archer shot from the minions would have killed him and given 750 gold shutdown bonus over to Grishank. It would have just... You know, they need gold. It's an 11,000 gold lead at the 19-minute mark. Noble are really starting to get that snowball rolling in this game. High-5 need to find an answer to it, but it's been the same story time and time again. As soon as Cypher arrives at the fight, somebody just dies and turns the fight into a 4v5 in Noble Esports' favor.
And take a look at the tower scenario and the objective scenario in general. 3-0. In the last game, it was 1-1 on Fire Giants, but it was 4-0 on Gold Furies. This time, 3-0. Such great objective control from Noble. Then take a look at the towers. There has not even been a tower wiped from the map from the side of High-5. And look at that. The towers have not taken a lick of damage as well. Noble are just absolutely managing this map with pure accuracy and just destructive force.
Yeah, I see chat talking about it. That's what I'm touching on as well. This is not High-5's normal full roster. They have Recon filling in for non-time this week. He had some family stuff going on. Fair enough. They're locked in for their spot anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. It's not just a case of, oh, it's not non-ton. Recon has been playing really, really well today. If you didn't know that Recon wasn't their normal, hunter, you probably would say, oh, you know what? Just not having a great game this round. Game 1, it was a close game. It was a back-and-forth game all throughout it. Game 2, they're a little bit further behind, but they're not ever, it's not because, oh, Recon's, playing poorly, he's out of position, he's getting caught out. Sometimes you're just going to lose boxing matches. Xbalanque against Ullr, especially that Ullr got a level or 2 up, has that advantage in lane. Late game, if Recon does what he did in game 1, just, doesn't, oh, I lost lane, not a morale type, oh, he's not on tilt because the early game went poorly, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this one.
Yeah, he needs to keep that in his mind as well, as Adjust is actually going to get on towards him. Down comes the Darkest of Nights, trying to force Adjust to go away, but he can't really do that. Vulture at least is going to find Lou, which means that Recon's the only hunter alive. High-5 still the Fire Giant, and Recon lives in the backline as well, and now they're looking for the successful fight. Down goes the ultimate from the Hercules, doing so much. Cypher's so low.
The Jukes with the stealth, trying to back the base quickly. That's 750 gold bounty on his head. Still stands. Actually, more than that as well when you count the assists in it. That's gonna be like 1,000+ gold kill. That's just absurd.
It can't be. It can't be. It's 750 max.
It's 750 for the person who gets the killing blow, plus the split for assists.
I suppose. Yeah. And then Junipero is actually gonna get found out. He's starting to roll out away. Tectonic Rift is down from Grishank to lock him down, but he doesn't have any mana, and El Chapu's just, that's alright, whatever, we got the Fire Giant, we're just gonna back off, because left-hand side, Cypher, you MVP, you sneaky...
I don't even know what he's doing.
Wow. Wow. Cypher, I think he's earned himself MVP. There is no way he can not get MVP.
We'll see. It's still early in this game, too. We'll see if this can be turned back around. Vulture made that play at the Fire Giant. He came around, he caught Lou, the Kraken, the Whirlpool, the Tidal Surge. Lou got knocked up in the air by the center of that Kraken and just died. There was no surviving that for him. He got caught. Dead to rights, caught by the Fire Giant. He was dead. So Vulture made that play, but Albatross was able to sneak on in and actually get the Wrath of the Gods down to secure the Fire Giant and steal. Ensuing fight, kind of messy. They still, I just want to say, Cypher, can they get that shutdown at this point? He's so slippery. That's what I want to see happen. Will he survive? But other than that, Fire Giant's on everyone but Vulture. And the most important person, the AD carry, has it. Recon has the extra range damage. He has it. That's the important one. Vulture, the tanks have as well. I'd say that's kind of the secondary one. Vulture, yeah, having the extra health regen, having the extra mana regen, stuff like that is always nice. But he can kind of play a bit of a safer option. Drop the Whirlpools, drop the Tidal Surges, kind of play mid-back line a little bit, just play it a little bit more safely, and you're not too concerned that you don't have it. It's not like, oh, you're a tank frontline absorbing all the damage, you need that regen. You can play it safe and kind of adapt to not having it, but it's a 5-man grouping from Noble Esports. They're trying to apply the pressure despite being down that Fire Giant buff.
Oh, look at Recon. Look at the in-hand starting to come out from him. He's so confident. Grillshank's gone up. Elbow Chacho's looking for the initiate too. The Para is just going to get deleted by Vulture. But now look at who's coming in on the back line.
Cypher and Adjust are about to be dropped down. Going to catch a whole lot of them. Grillshank just falls in the back to Adjust. Where is Cypher in the middle of the fight? He's the one making the difference. Can he find his kill? There's one coming out. Trying to lock down somebody else. It will be Elbow Chacho sneaking away to the right side of this fight. Defender of Olympus is still available. He can rejoin this fight here in just a second. It's a 3v3 once that comes back on in. Cypher still sitting up at 2/3 of his health bar. That was kind of... The Fire Giant was basically what kept that fight kind of on even terms. Hi-5 were otherwise behind going into that. They were down by about 8,000 gold. The Fire Giant is roughly, across all 5 people, 7,000 gold worth of physical power and magical power. And here you have Athena. It's not really benefiting her too much, but roughly 7,000 gold worth of stats. As that fight commenced, they thought they had people cut out. Juniper just exploded. Then Cypher and Justice came in from the back line and just spread everybody out. They were forced out. They were stuck in the circle protection. That was popped. That did damage. Cypher just did what he's been doing all game, applying hurt, applying pressure. They need to make sure they're shutting down these squishy damage-dealing gods. I don't think it all came down to they dumped too much on Junipera. They were looking as though we got somebody out of position, we can capitalize on this and win the team fight. But they can't dump that much into support at this stage in the game.
No, they can't really dump too much into the support, especially because Junipero got he got like a full 5-man Cataclysm off. That was huge. But Vulture was able to just drop the damage. And look at his build as well. He's gone for a Spirit of the Magus Pythagorean's Piece. He's not huge on the damage side of things. He's not having the best of games, but he's still able to stay relevant. That is the mark of an absolutely excellent player. We've seen him get MVPs in the past. And... no, he's still able to be relevant in a game with the state as it is. Thus, this is such a good game from him because it's proving when you can play from behind and smite, you're proving why you're such a good player. Right, let's go back to the Recon conversation that I really wanted to have with you. You're right, 100%. Can't box with Lu. That's just the way the gods match up. Recon, he's about team fights. We saw him earlier in the day. He actually was able to win some boxing matches. Forget it. He's not Nonton. 100% he's not Nonton. He's not quite as skilled, but he is definitely a very, very good player, and there's a very good reason these Hi-5s sub.
Yeah, like I said, going forward, if they can find these fights in a favorable position, the problem is going to be keeping him alive against Cypher. It's kind of a rough spot. You have Lu, who's quite a bit further ahead of Recon. Vulture wants to burst him down. You want to burst down Cypher. You want to burst down Adjust, so let's face it. He's approaching full build right now. He has that Transcendence built up. That's a lot of physical power off that Transcendence on the Monkey. He's going to be hurting as well. There's 3 targets that Vulture wants to burst down. The question is, who do you actually take out? You got to go for that Hunter. Those in-hand attacks coming out are going to be devastating. At the same time, Cypher, with that cooldown reduction with the Jotun's Wrath, is going to be dishing out a lot as well. So there's no real, definitive, I need to kill this target. It's like, which of these 2 to 3 big threats in the enemy team do I burst out? It's generally been Lu. Take out that range AD carry, take out some of that stun support as well. The Monkey Hun, just you leap in, you drop that Fear No Evil. Anything after that is kind of like icing on the cake. You did your main thing as Hun Batz. Damage is great, but it all comes down to the Fear No Evil to set up the team fight for your team. Pop the beads, burn the crowd control immunities, things like that. The problem then, Cypher, we saw that last fight. Oh, you died? Well, the fight didn't go well. Fire Giant, I managed to sneak away with a little bit of health in my health bar. Base, teleport left lane, take the Phoenix. Be Loki. Fight doesn't go my way? Whatever. As long as I don't die, I can be Loki. That's my job in the game.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to watch that come through from Cypher as well. He hasn't just gone straight super deep. He's waited for the fights to develop to a little point, wait for the target to come forward that he can assassinate and sneak into the backline. Fantastic waiting on Recon to come forward in that last fight. The problem from Hi-5 was that they dumped so much into killing Lu. But look at the comp they're playing into. Cypher and Adjust on 2 big assassins, BK Haste with so much to save. They have to make sure that they kill off 1 or 2 of the big targets. They're focusing for BK Haste and they're focusing for Lu. They need to find Cypher, but Cypher's so difficult to find. They're in a really awkward scenario for finding good team fights. Cypher, #1 priority, but so is Lu at this point. Like, okay, we can't find Cypher, what do we do? Alright, we're just gonna kill Lu. The problem with that, though, is that they didn't peel for Recon when Cypher did just finally come forward.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest issue in that one. I was like, I can't fight you right now. I don't want to fight you because the team's grouping up. I'll throw a decoy next to you and scare the pants off you because why not? Like, hey, I'm here. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing right now. Joking aside,
Fire Giant's 30
Yep.
seconds away.
Yep.
This game's about to be decided.
Oh, it very well could be. I mean, we're approaching the point where the respawn times are going to be really long for these guys. I want to see Cypher just get shut down because I want to see that big 750 gold bounty finally get paid out. At the same time, I want to see him just continue being Loki, causing all sorts of crazy shenanigans and stuff like that. I'm torn on the Cypher situation. I don't know. I also just hate being on the receiving end of
He's got
Lokis.
teleport.
This is the Loki I face on in my games. When I have a Loki on my team, I get like I'm gonna build Devourer's Gauntlets, Assy, Bloodforge, and pretend to not. You know, I'm a melee 80 carry, guys. I got this. Split push all day with my not really much damage. It's like, just cry all day.
Did he get spotted? He get spotted. He didn't.
Yeah.
Did he get spotted? So look at this from the side of High Five. They're forced to commit too. And on the right-hand side, they've dropped down the whirlpool. They're trying to create a fight that they're not so confident that they can win either.
Yeah, they had a bit of an opportunity. There were two members on the left-hand side of the map that Grishank and Elchpu were both on over there. Grishank is dealing with the mid lane minions at this point. He doesn't have to get too much further to actually use the Anvil Dawn to kind of join a fight at the Fire Giant right now, as it will be started up again, leaping over the walls. We saw last game. Hopefully that won't be kind of a foreshadowing of this ensuing team fight for Lou, as it's getting dropped very quickly down to 40%. There's a 35% mark, and the Wrath of the Gods coming on down from Junie, 27-26. A little bit late on that one. High Five will steal it away. Second time this game.
Yeah, and the fight's going to go their favor a little bit as well, but BK Haste is going to find the return kill. Cyber's assassinated Bolter, but Recon gets the shutdown on towards him. Can he survive this fight, though? Because there's been 4 members of his team die off. They get the Hail of Ares. They're going to get the CC down on towards Recon as well. There's no way he lives through this, and low, they steal the Fire Giant away. Oh my god, High Five, they lose their entire team.
That will probably be the game here. They're going to just storm straight on through. The backdoor protection is going to slow them down a little bit. Alberchacho's up next, but after that, there's really not much damage coming out. This will probably be the Titan right here. That was a little bit of a mistake coming out from Noble Esports. They wanted to... It was down to, do we hold it? Do we turn and fight right now? The Titan, the Fire Giant rather was sitting at 28%. It was too close to that threshold, and they came on down. It just hit that threshold mid-fight, and Junie was locked up by the taunt from Alberchacho. They got the steal. Phoenixes are
First
falling.
respawns come through.
Yep.
Junipero got incredibly low out of this one, but they're going to go for the 3 Phoenix push. No Fire Giant buff on the board for a full 4 more minutes, but they're going to get 2 Phoenixes. That left-hand Phoenix is weakened as well because of Cypher's split pushing tactics previously, but this next fight, it's going to be groups because there's 2 Phoenixes down. You don't split up when that happens.
No, absolutely not. I mean, this next fight, the Fire Giant steal bought High Five time. It didn't buy them that little bit of a reprieve. Like, we had the Fire Giant, we had those extra stats. It was a full deicide in the back of that steal. Noble turned at the right time. The Fire Giant just getting stolen away. It was kind of like things just kind of... A wire got crossed midway through. Noble Esports didn't necessarily make a misplay on that one. Just kind of like, oh, we made a tiny mistake in the fight. Everything else went perfectly well the way we wanted to. So that, you know, all that said and done, they don't have the buff for themselves. High Five can look to apply pressure and apply damage, but it's a 25,000 gold lead at a 29-minute mark. That's a lot. That's 2 full items per member of Noble Esports. I mean, you can look at the item bar. Still just 3.5 items on Alberchacho. You know, I picked the worst possible example on the bar to actually compare items on, because they're like pretty much even support-wise. Anybody else, it's a 2-item difference for the most part.
Hi, Cypher. Yeah, Cypher's up about 1.5 items
He did
actually
die.
as well. But look at... Yeah, he did die. He was worth it. Look at the experience now. The experience is starting to fall off what it's worth. Vulture's almost 20, so he was almost level with BK Haste. Level 20s across the board except for Junipero, and they're mounting a significant defense at this point. High Five can do this. The problem is that they can't sustain it whilst ever they're getting shoved in the other waves as well.
Also, just then, I still can't do math. 15,000 gold, which then makes us a 2 full item. I was looking at the graphs, the things, and so I'm like, that's not right. Fight about to break out. Blink fall from Junipero. Elchpu very far forward. The Kraken comes out, but doesn't really find anybody.
Uh-oh, Cypher's gonna not be able to go invisible. He's been picked off. They get some sustain back up, but look at the health bars. Recon's still alive in the meantime, and Justice looking to go for Vulture, but he got whirlpooled up. Now he's gonna get killed off as well. Recon's still alive, and look at the members alive. Can they get through this Phoenix, though?
The problem is those fire minions, 2 waves worth on the Titan right now. That Titan health is dropping very quickly. Lu finds the kill on HP. Recon answers back again for the triple kill so far in this fight. BK Hayes trying to do what he can to keep this alive. They can't fight this. The Titan is dropping to minions right now. Recon is farming up. All they have to do is turn attention to it. That was them stuck between a rock and a hard place. They needed to kill Noble Esports. They needed to kill the minions attacking the Titan. What do? Hope you can get those kills quickly enough and then turn back to the Titan. Unfortunately, the Titan's health bar just was not large enough. Hi-5 will fall in a 2-0 sweep to Noble Esports. They played this game out very, very well, though. In that last fight, I mean, you know, we touched on Recon may not necessarily be not the normal roster player, but he played that last fight very well. His positioning was spot on. They were behind 15,000 gold. I saw the graph. I didn't have to actually do the math. I said 25,000. Whatever. Math is hard. It's difficult. Math. But yeah, Noble Esports. They're going to be sitting at a 3rd place finish overall for the split. Very good play coming out of those guys. Both them and Hi-5 had a little bit of a rocky road a couple weeks in a row. Both these teams, though, the last 2 games of the series, maybe, you know, not necessarily both these teams' top gameplay. A couple times throughout the fight, game 1 and game 2, it was kind of bloodbathy. Let's chase down kills. This was a game for gems. This wasn't a serious, we have to win this game to secure a spot. We have to win this game to, keep our hopes alive going into future weeks or anything like that. So, it's, maybe perhaps both these teams are just messing around a little bit. That was my opinion of game 1 a little bit, because they were chasing kills a lot. Those long extended, this team respawned. They came back to the fight. This team also respawned. Now they're back to the fight. No, the 3rd set of respawns for the same fight is now on. Nevertheless, though, both these teams, played a great set of games in this one. Noble Esports, though, were able to kind of squeeze out the early game pressure and aggression and get that snowball going.
Man, what a day worth of games, though. And you know the best part? This is the last knockout cup. From here, we go into scheduled matchups next week. We know who our finalists are going to be right now. Let's run through the almost finalized listings from North America. Hi-5 qualify in that #1 spot. Noble Esports aren't going to qualify in 2nd, even after that victory. They're going to qualify in 3rd spot, but it's going to be Resist splitting those 2 at the top. They finished, I believe, in 3rd place today. Yeah, they beat out Yomi for that 3rd place. And coming through, Yomi's going to be in 4th spot. Lunatic Esports probably running out the bottom 3. Lunatic Esports, COG Crusaders, Torch, and 1 of the other teams. So that's really how things are looking.
Yep, we'll have those actually up on screen here in just a second for you guys. This has been a crazy North American split. Week 1, I was talking about, EU looking to be a lot more competitive than the North American scene was. I pleasantly surprised as I can put myself after this entire series came up. That's really the only way I can put it. These teams played great games coming through to the end. That's not the correct card. We'll actually have the correct card up here in a second, guys, as I try and find it quickly. This has just been a crazy 5 weeks running. But so many great games coming out. So many just upsets throughout both North America and Europe. It's been a great 5 weeks. And now we're at the stage where things kind of start to really get serious.
Yeah, I know. Things are really going to get serious from here. And the best part, EU Challenger Cup is tomorrow. And things in the EU Challenger Cup can go absolutely 5 kinds of sideways.
Yeah, we have definitely seen things go in odd manners time and time again. I don't know, let's see tomorrow if that's going to be the case. There's a lot of teams still close in the standings, so I don't say it's necessarily anybody's game quite yet. I think I finally found the right thing. There we go, guys. Final standings for North America up on screen right now. Who is it? Normies leave. We haven't heard from in a couple weeks, so we're not sure if they're still together as a team. That may be KOS Gaming going forward into the group stages, but otherwise, that is the final standings for North America after the final week of open bracket play. So congratulations to all those guys qualifying and making it on through to the group stages. Other than that, for North American Challenger, for the European Challenger Cup tomorrow, we will be over on twitch.tv/Hinduman, not here on Smite Game 2. The Brazilian Masters Series, AFK Gaming facing off the best that Brazil has to offer, will be here on Smite Game 2 tomorrow. So yeah, going forward, we'll be over on twitch.tv/Hinduman. Stop on by and check that out. EU is going to be just an absolute bloodbath. You can see the standings on screen right now, how close it is tomorrow. 1, 2, 3.
There's a good 7 or 8 teams that are fighting for those last spots. It is going to be intense. If you want to see some of the best up and coming smite that there is to be had. Europe is the best scene to watch for how close the games are. If you want aggression, yeah, sure, come along, watch North America. But if you want close games that go all the way, you want to come and watch EU. And with all of those teams in the Challenger Cup that are fighting for 2 spots to take on the Pro League teams, tomorrow is going to be intense, and it sets up even better for the week after that.
Yep, that's it, guys. That is going to wrap things up here today for the Challenger Cup. We'll be back here tomorrow bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I had to post it. There it is, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. CEST for that one. So make sure you come on by again. Twitch.tv/Hinduman is where we'll be tomorrow for that one. So make sure you stop on by, check it out. We'll be the final week for EU. That's going to wrap things up for us here today, though, guys. For my co-caster, Ranconius, and myself, and hi-rez Studios, have a great day.